I'm Fred.
And I'm Linda.
A new venture, new day with another update on our Westward Ho tour. And today we spent the day doing a lot of hiking at the Capitol Reef National Park. This is what, our fourth park on our tour. It's unique and it was special in its own way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We hiked a lot.
We hiked a lot, and there were some pretty rugged trails, but they were well worth the effort.
It was.
Especially that one where you go see the Hickman Bridge.
Yep.
So we'd recommend stopping here.
Definitely.
If you're out in the area. So come along with us, put on your hiking shoes, and we'll clue you in on a few highlights of our journey today through the Capitol Reef National Park. Today's video is part one of a two-part video series on our visit to Capitol Reef. And today the focus is on our visit to the trailhead and walk up the trail to take a look at the Cassidy Arch. Quite a hike. We started our day with a roughly 8.5 mile drive from Torrey to Panorama Point with a lot of excellent views, but one of the neat things we found, and we found other locations, was this voice box that gives you a very good description of the area you're looking at.
Welcome, space dwellers. Our address? Capitol Reef National Park, State of Utah, country of the United States of America, planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy.
As noted at our stop at Canyonlands, the same problem exists here in that haze from pollution has started to obscure the view of the mountains in the distance and the terrain. From Panorama Point, you can take a 0.8 mile gravel road drive to the Goosenecks Overview. We didn't take that drive, but it takes you to another viewing spot that, according to the website, is also a very interesting thing to take a look at. Coming from Wisconsin, it's always amazing to look at all of this rock and rough terrain and limited vegetation. From Panorama Point, we drove the remaining 3 miles to the park area we had lunch at the day before, to be warned not to feed the deer, which were present that morning. Dining on the grass in the area, and I'm sure they find things left over from other people that have picnic lunches out there that they find interesting. They're obviously very used to having people around watching them. This is the scenic drive that is partially closed off right now for road construction and will be completely closed off in June for several months.
Of 2025.
2025 while they do more work. But the short drive we're taking is well worth it. Beautiful views of the canyon valley. We proceeded past the Grand Wash turn off to just take a look at how far the road actually did go. This is where the Scenic View Drive ends for the construction work that's going on, but they're making really great improvements to this road apparently. Make it better for the future. And off to my right is the start of a gravel road that goes to the actual parking area with restrooms, where you can take the 2 walking trails to take a look at some of the views that are back here in this valley. Vehicle's dusty anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. Despite the speed limit signs, people still rip and tear through here. It's incredible. That Grand Wash sign announcing the wash that we just crossed there and upcoming washes needs to be taken seriously in these parks. Even while we were on our trip, a day or two later, we'd hear a report of a storm and a flash flood coming through, and those washes become rivers and can easily wash people and vehicles away. It's quite a dusty, windy drive though when it's not raining, and be prepared to Clean out your air filter when you get home after you take these roads. Based on our experience later in the day yesterday with all the traffic and people earlier in the morning, it's just about 9 a.m. here. This is the time to take this trail. It's already starting to see some traffic, but not nearly as much as we were seeing yesterday afternoon. And this is not a road you want to fight a lot of vehicles on. Very rugged.
Cassidy Arch Viewpoint and Trailhead for .5.
As we finally get close to the trailhead, we can already see some vehicles that are parked a little further back from the parking lot, which suggests to me it might be a bit crowded up there. About 9 o'clock in the morning, and the place is just packed. There's a small restroom here, some trash cans, and here is the start of the walking trail. So we have to make a spin around here and find a spot to park along the canyon wall. And what a view! Well, we found a place to nest here. Had to turn around, come part way back from the parking area, which is packed, and park along the road, and we are going to walk back to the trailhead. So we're going to see how far we get on this trail. It's the Grand Wash and Cassidy Arch Trail. Legend has it that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid hid out in this area. Like so many of the trails we've taken on this trip, they start out pretty flat, pretty smooth, pretty easy to navigate. But on this trail, that changes in a hurry because there is a steep ascent to make to get to the arch area that we want to take a look at, and you can see people already up on one of the higher levels, and it goes a lot higher than that. But yet here on the ground, there's a lot of interesting sights, little notches and openings carved out of the rock over years of erosion. There's something new around every corner. And pretty soon the ascent up the hill starts. There are already some people coming back. We're going to take a left turn here and follow the Cassidy Arch Trail, 1.5 miles. A little desert bug. You will note that the ascent quickly starts getting steeper. Some of the spots are pretty narrow and there are no handrails. So if you're a little reluctant to go where there are heights, you might want to consider your approach to doing this trail. The photo opportunities are endless. So many different rock configurations and different sites, plants, things you want to take a picture of. I had the big camera along with me as well with the telephoto lens to try to get some distant shots. And thanks to Linda having her phone along, we're able to get enough video to show that I was actually there too. Up the hill we continue to go. Every so often you hit a very narrow, very rough spot. A walking stick can be very helpful to keep your balance. Looking back down at the overflow parking, you can see our vehicle, the fifth one, back on the left, and how many vehicles have arrived since we got there. The trail flattens out a little bit as we get closer to the end point, but it gets very narrow as well, and there's still quite a bit of distance to cover before we actually get to the arch. When we come back to visit in a million years or so, I doubt that these two rocks will still be here. And there's the trail we just came from, and we are still on our way up. We're now apparently past the worst of it, and most of it is pretty gradual and easy walking. So we are still headed for a point past where those people are standing to take a look at the arch. Here's another rock that's going to be taking a ride down the hill before too long. See quite a few of those up here and that have already taken the ride down to the bottom. Another weather tip for you. When you're down below or in the open areas like this morning, it was quite cool in the 50s with a breeze. So I wore jeans again because the forecast was for temperatures like that in the area. But unlike where we live, where the low spots are the coldest, here these canyons seem to hold the heat, and it's quite warm in here. So I'm going to start a new rule: just wear shorts. I often wonder when I go by little crevices like this, what sort of animals camp out in there at night. Here's another perspective of the trail looking back at where we've come from as we get closer and closer to the end point. We've been on the trail for just over an hour. We got here about 9, it's a little after 10, and that is the parking area down below at this point, and the trail is full. We are just about to the top. And from this point, near the top, that's a view of the road leaving again down through the canyon. And there is the arch.
That's pretty.
Isn't it though?
And way at the end, above the arch, that's where everybody congregates. It was time to turn around and make our way back down the trail to the parking area so we could go on to our next stop. It is getting pretty busy. So if this is where Butch Cassidy and the gang hid out, I don't think they came up this way. 11:52 a.m. and the road is packed with parked cars. Just one lane getting out of here, and we're going to meet somebody at the curve. Well,
She's trying to back in.
okay. And I guess in theory, they're not supposed to all be parked here. Just, again, goes to show you, you want to get here early. Once we got past where all the cars were parked, it got a little bit easier driving, and we picked up a little bit of speed, and pretty soon we were back on the main road, the paved highway, and on our way out of the park. Up ahead is the visitor center as we are exiting the park area at noon, and it is packed, coming and going. Of course, this is a Saturday on Memorial Day weekend. It may mean that there are more people here than normal, but wow. Testimony to getting up and getting going early in the morning. This draws to a close our Part 1 visit to the Capitol Reef National Park. Our next stop in Part 2 will be a visit to the Hickman Bridge Trailhead, also a part of the Capitol Reef National Park, about 2 miles to the east of the visitor center. So So stay tuned for that. It'll be coming up shortly. And thank you for watching part 1. Please click like and subscribe so you don't miss part 2 when it comes out. This is Linda and Fred thanking you for watching this video. Until next time, safe travels and take care.